It's Crafty Jennabug. So this is my art journal. In case you aren't aware, I made a video making the construction of this, but not the decorating. I'll link it below. This is the cover as I have decorated it. I took a bunch of dried tea bags and used some matte gel. I used matte gel to cover, here I can open it for you. Used matte gel to cover it. Once it was dry, I used Distress Oxide sprays and sprayed all over it. I also made some splatters with some Distress Stain daubers. I used a variety of Distress embossing glazes to make these circle things, and I wrote "Make Art Not War" and used embossing glaze to do that and outlined it. I think that was all I did. Some gold splatters, but I love it. So that is what I did off camera just to decorate the outside of it, and I love it. It's a little bigger dimensionally than I intended. Can't really fit it in my purse and take it with me, but that's okay. It'll just be my art journal for the house. I'll make a smaller one for travel. It's fine. As I explained in the video where I made this out of an Amazon packing envelope, out of an Amazon shipping envelope, I wanted this because I kind of wanted to just create recklessly. And then I hit a block. So I do have a few things in here. I put a little pocket here. We went over to a friend's house and had like a crafting date kind of thing. We all did different things. And so I just took a few scraps of paper with me and a box of random things, like some thread and a needle and stapler and things like that. And I made a little pocket. This is a tea bag packaging, and I stenciled on some packaging paper and stuck it in there. I want to put it in here somehow, but I'm not sure how yet. Stamped image, scrap paper. This was a scrap. I had was writing it for something, and it just ended up in my stash, so I stuck it in here, did some outlining. Attempt watercolor. I did some mark making. What else did I do? I just did this the other day. Just used some party decorations that I repurposed to make a flower, and it's in progress. And I took a piece of scrap paper, marked on it with paint pens, made a ruffle. This is a paper towel that I used to clean off a stencil, and I glued it down to this page. Just random things. I also, there's another page. Let's see. I glued that and did a little bit of paint. I doodled. I took some paint in a brayer and I sprayed over this side and glued down a piece of a doily. Just little random things I've done so far, but there is one page. Sprayed Distress Mica Stain through a stencil. I like the way it kind of carries over onto the different pages. I really have not done a whole lot. I colored. I haven't done a lot in here yet. Another page where I did some mark making, and I stapled down, glued and stapled. No, just stapled. Huh, why didn't I glue that down as well? Just a tuck spot made out of some snippet roll that I made at some point. I'm not sure when, but it's not going to do much for a tuck spot if things are going to fall out. Anyway, I also drew some vines, more sprays, just trying to get inspired to work in here. I think that's more brayering, more mark making. And then this was the first thing I did. I wanted to make a mandala. And so I did. I used a paint pen, I used a compass and marked out my circles and traced things in pencil, and then drew things in pencil, and then I traced the pencil marks and colored them in with markers. That was the first thing I did in here. And it was the first time working in here that I was really truly inspired on my own. So, and then more sprays and splats with the distress daubers. So that's a little bit of washi tape to tape that together. That's all I've done in here so far. Like I said, I'm a little intimidated by this book. Like I'll go to a page and I'm like, okay, I want to do something. And then the crickets occur, you know, like that mandala was really the only thing that so far I came to this book saying, this is what I want to do. Wherever it went. It's back here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, this was the first thing I was like, I want a page with text and I want to do a mandala. And I did. So, because of my intimidation, this book, I went to my library and they happened to have this book called A World of Artist Journal Pages. And it was curated by Don DeVries Sokol. I hope I pronounced that right. The ISBN number is... There is the ISBN number. And in case you haven't figured out, I have been inspired a little bit. The page that I chose for today's video of me attempting to not copy, but more work in the style or color value, something to that effect, is this one. It's a 2-page spread. There's lots of purples and greens and blues. I love the leaves. Looks like they're made out of map. And yeah, these 2 pages really are making me happy. So greens and purples and blues. I can do that. And then map page leaves. I don't necessarily need to use map pages, but I like the leaves. It looks like they're in a pot. I can rock with that. So that's my inspiration. I'm going to leave it open next to me so that I can refer to it as needed. There we go. All right, now let's pick some pages. I do like these 2 that I opened up to. So I'm going to pick a few colors of acrylic paint and I'll be back. All right, I've picked 3 colors. These 3. I've got Anita's acrylic artichoke heart green and periwinkle, and then I've got a little bit of this petunia purple by Apple Barrel. The first thing I want to do is prep these pages with a bit of clear gesso. All right, and I'm just going to use some Liquitex clear gesso, and then I'm going to cover the whole page in it and let it dry before I continue. Oh, there we go. And that'll just give me a nice prepped surface. I won't have to worry too much about the paint doing too many weird things. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. All right, now I did help it along a little bit with the drying with a heat tool, but here we go. Scooch this a little over here. I've got my paint palette. I cleaned the brush that I used for applying the gesso. And looking back at my reference photo, let's see what we got going on. So lots of, it looks like the green was put down first, and then the blue and purple were kind of blended over it. I think I'm going to water down the acrylic paint a little bit because it looks really thin. So let's get the water. Like I said, I've just got a little spray bottle of water. Just add a little bit of that. I love it. That needs to dry. All right, while the background dries, I'm gonna go back to the reference photo, and I love this purple with pink stenciling, it looks like, on it. So what I'm going to do is take a scrap of paper. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I've got this Anita's acrylic iris and a piece of scrap graph paper, because I like the idea of a little bit of graph paper. Put a little bit on there, and I'm gonna take my brayer that will work. Cool. And then I want to take, let's see, they use kind of a bright, got some fuchsia, like that. And then I have this stencil. I have no idea any identifying features on, or I don't have any identifying like labels or anything for this stencil, as I got it used. Very cool. So I need to let that dry. All right. I love it. That is so good. And it because of the gesso, it has this texture that I'm really fond of. This is dry. I'm pretty pleased with that. And then I went in my paper stash and found a few papers that I could potentially use for the leaves. I like this, but it's kind of dark, but I do like the way it fits, so I might use that. Since in my reference, they obviously have some collaging going on. You know what I mean? I like the numbers too. I might find some numbers, and I think I have a washi tape that's a similar green color like they have with the alphabet on it. Not trying to copy, just trying to put my own spin on it. And I also have this, which I thought might be fun for some collage. And this I really love with this. I mean, look at how good that goes together. And then this, I was thinking about this for the leaves because they are just so bright. I kind of like that, but I also kind of like this for the leaves. Let's cut a leaf out, a rough leaf shape out of both. I think okay, we got one of those. And that kind of blends in, but then I plan on putting dark green and a black liner around it. So that could work. This might just be so bright. Yeah, I think I like this one better. So we'll just cut out a few leaves from here of various sizes. Oh, I forgot it had a backside. Do I like that better? No. I don't know why I like them so subtle, but I do. And then this was part of it was like the pot. Do I want to soften the edges at all? Now that I know how big my pot is, I can. This glue does not want to stick. I might need a different glue. Let's switch to tacky glue and see if that helps. Matte gel may have been a better option actually, so that I could have, or smearing it on the back with my finger because I've got the points sticking up now. Okay, so that is what I've got going over there. that, and I like the idea of this in here. I have a feeling I need to let this glue dry, but I do want some numbers. Let me find my numbers. All right, I've got some numbers. I have a 2, a 6, and a 2 and a 4, because that's the date when I am making this. And I thought that would be fun. So those I'm actually going to put to the side for now. And I want to get my paint palette back out because I want to do a few things. First thing I want to do is get this green and a thin brush. So I have a thin brush, and I'm going to take this green and I'm just going to roughly outline my leaves. Now in my reference picture, the artist, Autumn Hathaway, sorry, I had my paintbrush in my mouth. The artist, Autumn Hathaway, you took her green lines, the stems, all the way down, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So I'm just going to take it as if this were the pot. Oh, right. I love that. I absolutely love that. So there's this purple square here, but I like the idea of like this being outlined in paint. And then I'm going to take this purple, which was the same as I used in the background, and I'll take a little of this iris purple that I used for this. Next, I have a few different washi tapes. I think I want to try, I know for sure these I want to use because all these colors are pretty much in here, except for maybe that one. But then I have this brown and this other green. I like the idea of this somewhere. And then this one says, life is good, life is beautiful, life is wonderful. And it has life is good. Or then as the next one. I think I'll take that. Oops, knocking stuff over. I think I want it up here. And then maybe this one has some gold. And then I have this little scrap. I wanted to make a tag, not a tag, a tab, a page tab. All right, got that. Now I need my numbers. I like the idea of them being more part of the art. I also like the idea of them being, and that's, oh yeah, I like this one, but what if I back it with something? What if I back it with this green? Ooh, this brown. Yep. I think I'll leave the 24 like it is. And then I will ink that up on my little tag with some walnut stain. But this one, I want to poke a hole and tie a little string through because it looked like that other number had exactly that. I poked a little hole in here and I've got a little bit of scrap thread. It's just some brown embroidery floss. There we go. Now, next, let's bring this back in as well, because the other thing that my reference photo has, that I haven't done yet, are all of these like scribbly lines. So we're gonna go with an ultra fine Sharpie. I just wrote, life is good, life is great, life is wonderful, life is integral, life is fantastic, life is everything, life is getting better all the time. Just wanted that filled up there. I think that's where we're going to stop. That was the inspiration, and that is what I've done. I love it. That feels really good. I was really, like I said earlier in this video, I was really having a hard time getting started in this book. And so that was why when I found that library book, it felt so right. It just felt so right. So here we go. I've got a 2-page spread in my art journal, and I feel really good about it. That's still wet, so we'll leave that. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you are inspired to either work in your art journal or start an art journal. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.